Streetlights flickered like they knew us. Every shadow felt too long. I was learning how to live with silence after everything went wrong. I had letters I never sent you, truths I buried deep inside. But even in the ache of missing, something in me wouldn't die. A heart don't break just to surrender. A soul don't burn without a cause. There's a voice beneath the pressure that says hold on. We held on to something true when the world was falling through, when hope felt thin as borrowed air and faith was hard to prove. Through the loss, through the fear, through the nights we barely knew, we held on to something true. They told us freedom comes with limits, said belief should learn to bend, said love is only for the lucky and always has an end. But every dream that shook the ground was born where fear stood tall, and every heart that changed the world refused to fall. You can sell us peace in pieces, call obedience being wise, but love remembers. And out, let them assume, let the old world close its view. We held on to something true. I lost you, or maybe I lost my fear, because loving you made everything clear. If hope is weak, our God is flame. If faith feels small, I'll say its name. If all that's left is one last stand, I'll stand again. We held on to something true. Hear our voices rise and break. We are more than scars and silence, more than what they take. From the ashes, from the doubt, from the nights we barely stood, we held on to something true, and it held us. We held on to something true, from the first breath to the end, through love, through loss, through everything we still believe. When the world forgets our story and time erases every proof, I'll still be here, still believing. We held on to something true. was longer than the truth. Every promise felt half-made. I was learning how to breathe again. In the shadow of yesterday, I loved in ways that left me hollow. I'd lost what I couldn't replace. But even then, beneath the sorrow, I felt a pulse that stayed. A heart don't beat just to survive. A soul don't ache without a reason. There's a truth that stays alive. And believe it, we outlive the night. When the dark had every right to take our names and bury us out of sight. Through the loss, through the fear, through the tears we couldn't hide, we outlived the night. They told us faith was dangerous, said freedom comes with scars, said love was just a weakness for the broken and the naive hearts. But every dream that changed the world was born where fear stood tall. And every voice that still matters refused to fall. You can sell us silence as peace, call surrender being wise, but love remembers how to breathe and rise. We outlive the night when belief felt like a crime, when standing for the truth meant standing out of line. Let them doubt, let them deny, let the old world choose its side. We outlive the night. I lost you, or maybe I lost my fear, because loving you pulled everything clear. If hope is thin, I'll guard its flame. If faith feels weak, I'll say its name. If all that's left is one last stand, I'll stand again. We outlive the night. Hear our voices rise and burn. We are more than scars and silence, more than what we learned. From the ashes, from the doubt, from the weight we couldn't outrun, we outlived the night and became the sun. We outlived the night. From the first breath to the end, through love, through loss, through everything, we still believe. When the world forgets our story and time erases every sign, I'll still be here. Night came down without a warning. Every answer felt too small. I was learning how to live with nothing, how to stand without the wall. I had scars I never mentioned, names I still don't say out loud. But even when the world went silent, my heart was beating proud. A soul don't ache without a reason. A heart don't burn unless it's alive. There's a truth beneath the bleeding that survives. We chose the fire when the cold was closing in. We chose desire over fear and giving in. Through the loss, through the pain, through the nights we couldn't see, we chose the fire. And it chose me. They told us safety was surrender, said belief would get you hurt, said freedom's just a loaded word, best buried in the dirt. But every dream that shook the system was born where rules collapse. And every voice that changed the world refused to take a step back. You can draw your lines in stone, call obedience being wise, but love was never built to own or hide. We chose the fire with our hands still shaking tight. When truth felt like rebellion against the night, let them doubt, let them deny, let the old world disagree. We chose the fire to stay free. I lost you, or maybe I lost my fear, because loving you pulled everything clear. If hope is thin, I'll guard the flame. If faith feels weak, I'll say its name. If all that's left is one last stand, I'll stand again. We chose the fire. Hear our voices rise and break. We are more than scars and silence, more than what they take. From the ashes, from the doubt, from the weight we couldn't outrun, we chose the fire and became one. We chose the fire from the first breath to the end. Through love, through loss, through everything, we still believe. When the night demands surrender and the truth feels hard to see, I'll still be here, still burning, where love is free. The night was louder than our heartbeat, the future thinner than the air. Every road felt temporary, every prayer felt like a debt. I was tired of surviving quietly, tired of letting go. But when I looked into your eyes, I knew something still said no. A heart can break and still remember why it learned to beat this way. There's a truth beneath the tremor. We stay, we chose to stay when leaving would be easier, when hope was wearing thin. We chose to stay with shaking hands and open scars, still letting love begin. Through the loss, through the pain, through the fear we couldn't outrun, we chose to stay and become more than what we've done. They told us faith was just a story, something young men outgrow. Said freedom costs too much in blood, said silence keeps you whole. But every dream that learned to breathe did so against the wall. And every voice that changed the world refused to crawl. You can teach us how to kneel, you can tell us who to be, but love remembers what is real and free. We chose to stay when the truth was under fire, when belief felt like a crime. We chose to stay and carry something higher than the weight of time. Let them down, let them say we were foolish, we were wrong. We chose to stay and turn the silence into song. I lost you, or maybe I lost my fear, because loving you made everything clear. If hope is weak, I'll guard the flame. If faith is small, I'll speak its name. If all that's left is one last stand, I'll stand with you. We chose to stay when the world was falling apart, with nothing but our voices and our hearts. We are more than broken days, more than everything we lost. We chose to stay, no matter the cost. We chose to stay from the first breath to the end, through love, through loss, through everything. We still believe. When the night forgets our names and the past refuses to fade, I'll say it softly, I'll say it proud. We chose to stay. Days were heavier than silence, Every promise felt like glass. I learned how fast the future changes, when the past won't let you pass. I carried names I never buried, dreams I swore I'd never lose. But even when the light grew distant, something in me still chose you. A heart don't beat just to survive, a soul don't ache without a cause. There's a truth beneath the damage that calls. We gave our hearts a reason to love beyond the pain, to stand inside the storm. Now look away, through the loss, through the fear, through the nights we couldn't see. We gave our hearts a reason. They told us hope was just a weakness, said freedom costs too much to keep, said faith belongs to younger years, and love should learn to sleep. But every dream that moved the world was born against the grain, and every voice that still matters chose truth over staying safe. You can teach us how to kneel, 'cause surrender being wise. But love remembers what is real and rises. We gave our hearts a reason when belief felt like defiance, when truth had nowhere left to stand. But in our own reliance, let them doubt, let them deny, let the old world disagree. We gave our hearts a reason to stay free. I lost you, or maybe I lost my fear, because loving you made everything clear. If hope is thin, I'll guard its flame. If faith feels weak, I'll say its name. If all that's left is one last stand, I'll stand again. We gave our hearts a reason, hear our voices rise and break. We are more than scars and silence, more than what they take. From the ashes, from the doubt, from the weight we couldn't outrun, we gave our hearts a reason and became one. We gave our hearts a reason, from the first breath to the end, through love, through loss, through everything, we still believe. When the world forgets our story and time erases every season, I'll still be here still believing. We gave our hearts a reason. The house was quiet after midnight, just the clock and my regret. I've been carrying the wrong fights, placing bets I couldn't collect. There were words I never said out loud, fears I learned to hide inside. But even when the light went out, something in me stayed alive. A heart don't break just to be broken. A soul don't ache without a flame. There's a truth inside the hoping, calling my name. We gave the night a name, so it don't own us. We let the dark know it didn't define us. Through the loss, through the rain, through the parts we couldn't save, we gave the night a name. They said freedom was a rumor, said belief was for the young, said love was just a weakness that would leave you when it's done. But I've seen hands still reaching when the ground was giving way. I've seen hearts choose meaning over running away. You can teach us how to kneel, call surrender being wise, but love remembers what is real and why. We gave the night a name when the fear was hope is thin, I'll guard the flame. If faith feels small, I'll say its name. If all that's left is one last stand, I'll take your hand. We gave the night a name. Hear our voices rise and burn. We are more than scars and silence, more than what we've learned. From the ashes, from the doubt, from the weight we couldn't tame. We gave the night a name. We gave the night a name. From the first breath to the end. Through love, through loss, through everything, we still believe. When the darkness calls us back and the past tries to explain, I'll stand right here and say it again. We gave the night a name. The night was heavy with unanswered questions. Every clock tick sounded like goodbye. I was learning how to live with absence, how to look the truth straight in the eye. I'd seen lovely without a warning. I'd seen faith fall to its knees. But even when the world felt empty, something in me wouldn't sleep. A heart can ache and still keep beating. A soul can doubt and still believe. There's a fire we carry for a reason underneath. We kept the light alive when the dark was all we knew. When hope felt small and fragile and the night felt true. Through the loss, through the pain, through the fear we couldn't hide, we kept the light, light. They told us silence was protection, said freedom always comes too late. They sold us fear as common sense, called surrender being safe. But every dream that changed the world was born in open defiance. And every voice that still matters learned to rise in the silence. You can draw the lines like the doors try to teach us how to stay, but love remembers what it's for and won't obey. We kept the light alive, we're shaking hands in open scars. When belief felt like rebellion and truth felt far, let them doubt, let them deny, lost my fear, because loving you made everything clear. If hope is thin, I'll guard the flame. If faith feels weak, I'll say its name. If all that's left is one last stand, I'll stand again. We kept the light alive. Hear our voices rise and break. We are more than scars and silence, more than what they take. From the ashes, from the doubt, from the nights we barely survived, we kept the light alive. We kept the light alive. From the first breath to the end, through love, through loss, through everything, we still believe. When the world forgets our faces and time erases what we tried, I'll still be here, still believing. We kept the light alive. Years came down like falling weather, some gentle, some too hard to name. I lost the shape of who I was, trying to outrun the pain. I watched the world grow sharp and distant, heard my younger courage fade. But somewhere in the wreckage, a quieter voice stayed. A heart don't quit just because it's tired. A soul don't sleep through the truth. There's a fire under the silence, still burning through. We learn how to love again, after the break, after the end, when hope felt thin as borrowed time, and faith was hard to defend. Through the loss, through the scars, through the nights that tried to win, we learn how to love again. They told us safety was surrender, said freedom costs too much to keep, said faith was just a story for the weak and naive. But every dream that moved the earth was born against the grain. And every voice us how to disappear, but love remembers what is real and stays here. We learn how to love again when belief felt like defiance, when truth had nowhere left to stand. But in our own reliance, let them doubt, let them pretend that the heart is something thin. We learn how to love again. I lost you, or maybe I lost my fear. Because loving you brought everything clear. If hope is weak, I've got its flame. If faith feels small, I'll say its name. If all that's left is one last breath, I'll give it meaning. We learn how to love again. Hear our voices rise and hold. We are more than broken moments, more than what we're told. From the ashes, from the doubt, from the weight we couldn't outrun, we learned how to love again and became one. We learned how to love again. From the first wound to the last heal, through love, through loss, through everything, we chose what's real. When the world forgets our story and time erases where we've been, I'll still be here, still believing. We learn how to love again. Quiet endings. Every dream learned how to bruise. I was tired of pretending that I had nothing left to lose. I carried doubts like worn out clothing, I never showed. But when I felt your hand in mine, I remembered what I know. A heart don't beat just to keep time, a soul don't burn just to survive. There's a truth we feel inside when we decide. We love like it was forever, even when tomorrow lied. Through the hope, through the hunger, through the tears we was something you outgrow. Said love was just a moment, till the moment lets you go. But every dream that moved the future was born against the wall, and every voice that changed the world refused to crawl. You can teach us how to kneel, call surrender being wise, but love remembers how to feel alive. We love like it was forever, when the night refused to end, when standing for the truth meant losing friends. Let them doubt, let them decide what they think we should become. We love like it was forever, and stayed human. I lost you, or maybe I lost my fear, 'cause loving you made everything clear. If hope is thin, I'll guard the flame. If faith feels small, I'll say its name. If all that's left is one last stand, I'll take your hand. We love like it was forever. Hear our voices rise and break. We are more than scars and silence, more than what they take. From the ashes, from the doubt, from the nights we barely survived, we love like it was forever, and stayed alive. We love like it was forever, from the first breath to the end, through love, through loss, through everything, we believe again. When the years erase the details and time forgets our names, I'll still be here, still believing love was never a phase. The night was heavier than silence. Every road felt temporary. I was tired of all the violence, of becoming who they wanted me to be. I'd lost more than I could measure, names I still don't say out loud. But in the wreckage of forever, I felt your heartbeat pull me out. A heart don't stop just because it's tired. A soul don't quit when it's afraid. There's a truth that lives in fire and stays. Taught us how to keep our heads down, called obedience peace of mind. But never learned to whisper. Freedom always crossed the line. I've seen the quiet choose defiance. I've seen the broken stand tall. There's a strength in staying human when the world asks you to fall. You can build your walls of reason, call surrender being wise, but love was never meant for seasons. It survives. We carry love through the dark, with our hands still shaking tight, when belief felt like rebellion and truth refused the night. Let them down, let them deny us, let the old world come undone. We carry love through the dark and still sun. Or maybe I lost my fear, because loving you made everything clear. If hope is thin, I'll guard the flame. If faith feels weak, I'll say its name. If all that's left is one last stand, I'll stand again. We carry love through the dark, hear our voices rise and break. We are more than scars and silence, more than what they take. From the ashes, from the doubt, from the nights that felt too long, we carried love through the dark and it made us strong. We carried love through the dark, from the first breath to the end, through love, through loss, through everything. We still believe. When the world forgets our faces and time erases what we were, I'll still be here, still believing love endures. The fire left the streets in silence, smoke still hanging in the air. I was counting all the broken promises, trying not to stare. I had doubts like open questions, feel like something I could take. But even in the ruins of us, love refused to wait. A heart don't beat just to remember, a soul don't burn just to pretend. There's a truth beneath the embers that won't end. We chose love over the ashes when the every time. They said freedom comes with warning signs, said faith should learn to bend, said love was just a temporary light that always meets its end. But every dream that moved the future was born where fear stood tall, and every truth that still has meaning survived the fall. You can teach us how to kneel, call surrender being wide, but love remembers how to feel and right. We chose love over the ashes when belief felt like resistance, when standing for the truth felt like distance. Let them down, let them decide what they think we should become. We chose love over the ashes and stood as one. I lost you, or maybe I lost my fear, because loving you made everything clear. If hope is thin, I'll guard its flame. If faith feels small, I'll say its name. If all that's left is one last stand, I'll stand again. We chose love over the ashes. Hear our voices rise and break. We are more than scars and silence, more than what they take. From the wreckage, from the doubt, from the nights we barely survived, we chose love over the ashes and stayed alive. We chose love over the ashes. From the first breath to the end, through love, through loss, through everything, we still believe. When the years erase the damage and time forgets our names, I'll still be here, still believing love remains.